But this was the unconventional limit, that this girl, the daughter of a banker, should openly seek out a total stranger to introduce herself to him on the public street. And the way she spoke of those rough men in the saloon, one would think they were her intimate friends. Today we bring you an excerpt from the best-selling 1911 novel, The Winning of Barbara Worth, by Harold Bell Wright. The story is set in California in the Old West. The plot is a dramatic love triangle. A local cowboy and an East Coast engineer compete for the hand of a wealthy rancher's adopted daughter. Here is a scene compressed for time, describing the engineer's first impressions of the heroine of this timeless tale. After his noonday meal, Willard Holmes sought the shade of the arcade in front of the hotel. He mused on the novelty of his surroundings. That young woman with her khaki-divided skirt, wide sombrero, fringed gauntlets, and the big western saddle. What a sensation she would create at home. He watched with admiring eyes the strong, graceful figure that sat the high-strung, uncertain horse, as easily and unconsciously as any one of his women friends at home would rest in a comfortable chair. As the horsewoman drew nearer, he fell to wondering what she was like. At the sidewalk, the girl swung from the saddle lightly and throwing the bridle reins over the horse's head. With a movement that brought out the beautiful lines of her figure, she turned her back upon the pawing, restless animal, with as little concern as though she had delivered him to a correctly uniformed groom. No, she was not pretty. She was magnificent. All along the arcade, people were smiling and greeting, the men lifting their hats.
"That new hoss of yours is sure some hoss, Miss Barbara."
"Oh, he will do, Bob, when I've worked him down a little." "I beg your pardon. Is this Mr. Holmes? I am Barbara Worth. You met Father at the bank this morning. Texas Joe and Pat told me about your being here, and I could scarcely wait to see you. I'm afraid you must have thought them a little rough last night, but really it's only their fun. They're as good as gold."
As she stood now close to him, the red blood glowing under the soft brown of her cheeks, Willard Holmes felt her rich personality as distinctly as one senses the presence of the ocean, the atmosphere of the woods, or the air of meadows and fields. She regarded him with an open, straightforward look which was somewhat disconcerting. She was so unconscious of the strength of her splendid womanhood, and he felt her presence so vividly.
"Father says this is your first visit to the West, and of course, it can't be like your part of the country."
To tell the truth, I was feeling a bit strange, you know.
"Wouldn't you like to go for a ride? I would so like to show you around."
You are more than kind. When could we go?
"Right now."
But I don't ride, you know.
"You do not ride? I don't think I ever saw a man before who didn't ride." "Oh, well, I'll summon a rig."
When the employee returned a little later with a span of restless, half-wild broncos hitched to a light buggy, the girl stepped into the vehicle and took the reins as a matter of course. The engineer took his place at her left. Shying and plunging, the team demanded all of Barbara's attention. But she managed to steal a look at her companion now and then, as if expecting him to show signs of nervousness. Willard Holmes, on his part, was wrapped in silent admiration of her strength and skill.